everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is LJ and in today's video I'm going to be doing a soft bridal and wedding makeup look. The palette that I've chosen to use for this look is the Soft Glam by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Anyways, this video is going to be long enough without me rambling on, so let's get straight into it. Hello. Okay, let's get straight stuck into it. I am going to use the P.Louise Base in 02, which is the original Rumour shade, on a damp beauty sponge, and I'm going to apply that all over my eyes. I'm going to start off with my eyes today. That way if you get any fallout coming down here from the shadows, you can just wipe it away before you do your foundation. I have my eyeshadow primer on now, so as you can see I didn't go too careful with it. I'm even up in my eyebrows, down below, everything. It's just everywhere, but it's all patted into my skin just to make sure we have that flawless base that's going to throw up the true pigment of the eyeshadows, and it's going to help the eyeshadows last all day long as well. So the palette I'm going to be using today is the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is one of my most well-loved palettes. I'm obsessed with it. It is perfect for bridal looks. You're able to get glamorous looks and really basic looks out of this palette, which I really appreciate. It's extremely versatile. Okay, I'm going to zoom you into my eye now. So I'm going to set my whole entire base with the shade Tempura. I'm just going to set that all down because we are doing a more soft look today. We want all of the colours to blend seamlessly. So that's why we are putting down this light shade first all over the lid. The first shade I'm going to go into is the shade Rustic. I'm going to apply Rustic where my crease is. You can see I have slightly hooded eyes. I'm going to start stamping and wiggling the shadow. Stamping and wiggling, and just to get it really pigmented. Stamping and wiggling and all on the outside. So as you can see, I started in the center and I'm working my way out. Stamping and wiggling. And now I'm going to start blending out the edges of where we set down the initial pigment, and that's going to softly diffuse the eyeshadow and softly diffusing it into the inner corner of the eye, and this is all with the exact same brush. And now as you can see, it looks like I have applied two different eyeshadows, but it's the exact same colour. Now I'm going to grab my fluffy brush that I used to set down the base. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Rustic, but not too isolated in one area. The fluffy brush will softly diffuse the eyeshadow. With one colour, it looks like you had a transition colour and your crease shade, but that's just one colour. Just going back in with a little bit of Rustic again into the crease, just making sure we are pigmented enough that the colour shows that it hasn't been lost with the fluffy brush. Now with the fluffy brush, I'm going to go into Orange Soda, and the very edges here where you can see the brown softly diffusing, I'm just going to softly add Orange Soda to the very outside of that, extremely softly, just a touch, and that will give you that beautiful transition. It's just these small finishing touches that make the difference to your makeup look. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Cypress Umber with the same brush that I used to apply the crease shadow, and I'm going to set down a brown powdered liner. And as you can see, when I get to the outer corner, I'm tilting the eyeshadow brush from straight to more diagonal, so it's going up into my crease as opposed to dragging down the eye. We want to uplift the eye. We are going to softly join that into the crease, and as you can see, those colours just all blend nicely together. Now for the inner corner of the upper lash line, I'm going to grab an angled brush and we're going to apply that powdered eyeshadow more precise. We want to keep it more precise on the inner corner of the eye, less blown out. We need to have definition there. Now I'm going to move all along the lash line with the angled brush and the shade Cypress Umber, just to make sure that we are super saturated on the lash line. Now I'm grabbing the shade Glistening from the eyeshadow palette. I'm adding that into my inner corner and softly dragging it out onto the lid. We need to add a little bit of sparkle, so just very gently diffusing that all over, joining it together with your matte shades. I'm going to leave the eyelid like that now for a little while. I'm going to come back to it after I have the rest of my base done. The primer that I'm using today is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. I love this because it gives you a lovely hydrated dewy finish to the skin. I have an oily T-zone, but I still apply this to my T-zone. I just find it doesn't make the oils come through or anything. I'm really loving this primer. The foundation that I'm using today is the INGLOT All Covered Foundation in shade 11. I'm loving this foundation lately. It gives you such a beautiful coverage and it's extremely long lasting. Full coverage, sets down to more of a natural finish, especially with the primer oil underneath. Next, I'm going to add some concealer. So I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm going to add some to my under eye and any other areas that need a little bit of extra coverage, like a few blemishes that I have popping up. So with the beauty sponge, I just angled up the eyeshadow a little bit and made sure that all of the fallout or anything is gone. Next, I am going to bronze up the face. I'm going to use Hoola Lite. I haven't used this yet. This is my first time using it. So I'm just adding it to my cheeks here, underneath where my cheekbone sits. And it adds a very nice soft bronze. Adding it to the forehead and down the temple, underneath the jawline, side of the nose, and the same on the other side. Now that I'm all bronzed up, I'm going to use California by Benefit as my blush. Next up is highlight. I'm going to use Nars highlighter in the shade Capri. I'm using the exact same brush as I was this whole entire time. I'm just adding that to the high points of my cheekbones, down the center of my nose, a little bit above my brows, my cupid's bow, and a tiny bit on my chin. Now that I have my bronzer, blusher and highlighter done, I'm going to set the rest of my face, especially where I get oily, down the T-zone center of the face, using INGLOT HD Illuminating Powder. I'm going to grab a smaller brush, just going to dab out any creases that may have come into my under eye, and I'm going to get that same powder, building it up on the brush and rolling it underneath the lower lash line. I love this powder for under the eye because it's not too drying and it has like light reflecting particles in it, so it's going to help not show up any dryness underneath the eye, but it's also going to make sure the makeup lasts. I'm also saturating it into my forehead lines to make sure that it doesn't settle into those lines. Next, I'm going to do my brows. So I'm just going to brush them out first with a spoolie. And the products I'm using today for the brows are all from Benefit. Fill in the brows, I'm using Goof Proof in shade 3. I'm just going to go through this really quickly. If you'd like to see a tutorial on brows using these products, I'll link an Instagram quick tutorial down below. Okay guys, brows are done. I'm going to go on to the lower lash line now. I'm going to grab my nude pencil and apply that into my waterline. That just brightens up the eye and makes you look nice and awake. For the eyeshadow on the lower lash line, I'm just going to get Rustic on an angle brush and saturate it into the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to softly buff the edges out. Next up, I'm going to apply a little bit of mascara before we apply some lashes. This mascara, I absolutely love it for the lower lash line. It gets right into the lashes. I find sometimes with pencils in the waterline, they can get really into the lower lashes and it's hard to get them out. Or it's hard to get like a big thick wand right into the root of the lashes, but this guy is like a little comb. So it's really good to get into the lower lashes. The lashes that I'm going to use today are the Olivia lashes by Huda Beauty. I like these because They have lots of volume and a really lovely wisp to them. I have my lashes on now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tight line darkened a little bit. So I'm going to grab a brown pencil, any brown pencil that you have. This is the Pixie Matte Mulberry pencil, and I love them because they're so creamy. So the tight line is that area between your eyeball and your lashes on top. So the lower one is more known as the waterline. Sometimes this tight line becomes more noticeably white when you have dark lashes on, and the brown is just going to softly camouflage it. And because we didn't use any liquid liner, we used eyeshadow, just really saturating it into the inner corner to have that joining of the lashes and the powdered liner. It shouldn't transfer onto the lower waterline where you have the beige. It should set itself, but throughout the day just keep an eye on it, and you might have to top up the beige, but you shouldn't have to. But all of us have different eyes, we might react differently. Today my eyes are a little bit sensitive due to allergies, and that could cause my eyes to be more watery and a little bit of it going onto the waterline where it's beige, but it should be fine. Alright, so I'm going to, as you can see, wipe the foundation off my lips. I'm going to keep the lips quite neutral. I have quite pigmented lips anyways. So now that the foundation is completely gone off my lips, I'm going to line my lips with Wet n Wild. This is a gel lip liner in Bared Comment. It's actually down to a nub. I love it so much. So I'm just going to outline the entire lip. Now that the lip liner is on and it's actually gone, I'm going to now add the lipstick. I picked Creme Cup by MAC. It's a nice pink. Okay guys, that is the very end of my first bridal look here on my channel, the Soft Glam Bride. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you got some value from it. If you know any DIY brides, then feel free to send the link to them. Maybe they might be able to find some use out of this video, get some tips and tricks. If you enjoyed the video yourself, then give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I will be doing a few more bridal looks, and I'm also moving countries, and I'll be documenting how it all unfolds for me. So if you would like to stay tuned, then definitely subscribe. I'm also on other social medias like Facebook and Instagram stories all day every day. I'd love to see you all over there. I have a hair tutorial coming up with this look. I've just taken it down. I had to do it backwards because I forgot to hit the record button. So annoying. So I'll probably do a compilation of hair tutorials, shorter hair tutorials for weddings. So maybe I'll do 3 looks in one video. So stay tuned for that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to help anybody out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.